Alright, everybody, here we are, and finally, we are here to get some of the pending things done. Mainly, there have been many things that are yet to be done, and I have to just simply go through them. And they are kind of a things that are time taking, and let's simply get them done. I don't know how long it's gonna be taking to just simply go through all the things. So, first of all, I'm gonna be listing everything over here, listing them down, and once everything's clear, exactly this is all that we have to do. We will start working on them, and hopefully, we'll get them done as soon as possible. Coming back to this, so first of all, the thing that we have to do, and that is the VS code that you must have seen the title as well. VS code inside Docker container. Okay, and just a minute, let me make sure that check the status of the live. I cannot guarantee the timing of this live. It has started. Hopefully, at least it will keep going till 12 or something. So though I can guarantee, it's not like I'm gonna be live all the night. There's no way for that. But ultimately, I'll try my level best to just simply get the things done that must be done anyhow as soon as possible. Okay, it's been quite a long time, and I've been just simply worrying about it and have been not able to quite do it. So first of all, this is the thing that I have to do. So running Docker container and VS code inside Docker container, and for this thing I have to know more about coder.com. There is a website called coder.com. I have to know more about this. Apart from this particular thing, once I run it, then I will work on AGS, auto scaling groups and all. I will even create it. And apart from this particular thing, even when it comes to auto scaling groups, so it's even better to know about them, like exactly how they are implemented, like how you can increase the number of auto scaling groups and all, like increase the number of instances from your node. So if possible, integrating inside node app. So if possible, I mean, this needs to be done as well. I mean, these are some of the things that are yet to be done. Apart from this particular thing, what else? We have to focus on Grafana, of course, and not only Grafana. After that, we have to deploy the apps and deploy the app Prometheus and Grafana. I think Grafana and Prometheus, they can be deployed together, probably, or we can deploy them separately as well. So Grafana, ultimately the servers, and then of course we have to test them. Apart from this particular thing, well, let me have a look at the title. What was the title here? The remaining one, I forgot. Grafana is done, auto scaling groups are done, this, and there's one last thing, and that is Cloudflare. So Cloudflare, ultimately serverless backends, not only backends, it's total kind of a full stack as well. Like you can create full stack apps using just serverless, but ultimately serverless backends we are gonna be focusing on, and mainly we are gonna be talking about the Cloudflare, and Hono is built on top of Cloudflare, so we will be exploring this. We will be using Prisma with that as database, and apart from this particular thing, what else? Yeah, we'll be making some kind of application. So this is all that I have to do. So these are the pending things. I will be starting with this one, VS code inside Docker container. We have to just simply run this, and of course we have to explore this particular stuff as well. So without any further delay, let's simply get started. I know this is gonna be too much, and we have to still go through quite a lot of stuff, and let's see what's gonna happen. First of all, I have to enter the password, and after that the code over here. So give me a second. Alrighty, so let me enter the password first of all. Hopefully today it's gonna be done. I'm not sure whether how much I'm gonna be able to accomplish today, because these are the such things that I have to get them done anyhow, and only when they are done I can just move to something else. So let's see. Alrighty, I'm signed in right now. And once I'm signed in, let's simply start working with that coder thing. That simply means I need to coder.com. Even I have proper command for that, how I can run the VS Code directly inside the container, but it's better to just simply go through the website and just see what all they suggest here. And it's off, so what is the problem with this? Okay, coming back to this one. So United States Virginia, let me select Mumbai over here. I am facing the network issue for sure. What are the credits remaining right now? 163. Okay, they are enough. Apart from this particular thing, the next thing that I am supposed to be doing, first of all, alright everybody, hope I'm back. And honestly, wired connection is always better than the wireless one. And right now I've connected via USB cable, so hopefully this time it's gonna be working fine. So without any further delay, let's simply get going. And this is coder.com, and of course I'm supposed to be exploring it. The very first thing is that local individual installs. I can just simply install it locally and just simply can run that. If you are using Apple Silicon, Mac and all, it may not work. You'll need to provide external procedure database and all. That's fine, no need to worry about this. Hosted coder CLI, Docker, Kubernetes, all these things, Docker. And once clicked on this, Docker Compose CLI. So install coder via Docker run. So we can even install this inside a container, and we'll have to run this particular command for that. And export this. I'll have to just simply run this. So ultimately this should be working fine. Apart from this particular thing, we have this Docker Compose as well. And I will be installing it using what? I'm mainly gonna be installing it using Docker run. So let me just run it and see what happens. I'm mainly gonna be using EC2 machine for this. So let's simply click on this EC2 machine, and I'm gonna be running it, as simple as that. Of course, I'll have to select Mumbai over here. And once clicked on this, I should be getting the list view dashboard, and instances running there 0, but ultimately I must have many instances. There are 7 instances right now. Okay, coming back to this one, which one should I go with right now? Honestly, I actually need to install, testing app, monitoring machine, Docker machine, New Relic, all of them need to be terminated. I don't need them actually. It's better to create the instance again if needed. Coming back to this one, I'm gonna be creating one for VS Code, and let's select Ubuntu. Apart from this particular thing, it will have these are under free tier eligible, right? So I'm gonna be using 2 CPU and 2 GB memory, T3 small. Then select weapon AWS scheme that was generated already. Apart from this particular thing, there's nothing that I need to even select over here. So let's simply click on create the instance, launch instance. So it's gonna be created. What is the next thing that I have to do here? The next thing that I have to do is to just for a proof of concept and deployments, you can run the complete code with the following command: exported coder data home this, and after that this, after that create the directory, and then just simply run it. Group Docker. So ultimately, first of all, you are exporting home config coder v2 Docker. After that, export Docker $generate group did this. Okay, fine. mkdir coder data. So if that does not exist, ultimately you are just simply adding it. Once added, you are just simply even creating the Docker group, and once the group is created, you are creating the directory. After that, you are just simply running it, removing iteratives mode if I'm not wrong, and then adding the volumes, mounting the volumes, and after that adding the group, and then running it. So I can just simply run it over here, but before even that I need to have a Docker install. So Docker install Ubuntu. Let's simply click on this, gonna be going with the easiest way, because of course don't have a lot of time and have a lot of things to do. And hopefully but hopefully this is the step number 1. Let's simply copy all the commands. Okay, don't really worry about I mean, if I want I can explain the commands, but it's not that hard to, so you can just simply go through the what let me try my level best to even like explain the things and all, but if that's not necessary we will just simply go ahead. Apart from this particular thing, just a sec. So sudo update is just simply updates. I mean, everything is already understandable. It just even comments are written there, so you can just simply go through it, and ultimately it will install Docker here. But before even that, let me go to the instance. I will have to SSH into the machine so that I can just simply run this command. Copy the IP address of the machine and sudo SSH Dipendra Ubuntu @ this. Enter the password this, and hopefully this is gonna be right. Let me make it full screen. Clear sudo app. I don't even need to do anything. Let me just simply run the command. Well, this is not the one, so coming back to this one, copy the whole command, paste it over here. It will just simply update it. After that the latest version on install latest version, run it to install the latest version, and that's it. It's going to be installed. Hopefully we don't really need to do anything. Alrighty, meanwhile let me just go with let it install, and let me open a tab on my laptop. Okay, yes, why is it taking time? Okay, so this seems to be done almost. Apart from this particular thing, I need to run this particular command to just simply install that. Of course it's going to be installed. After that, what do I have to do? Coming back to this, after that I'm gonna be running this particular command over here, copy it, and I'm gonna be running that. Hopefully the last time I discovered it quite I mean, I happened to discover the options, like I happened to just simply go through all the options. Sudo. So I will be going through those options again, and hopefully we can create a Docker directly using this. Otherwise I already have a command, so if it doesn't work directly, so I will be going through my the written commands that I already have, and I will be running the VS Code inside the container. But for now, let's simply, by the way, the name of this should not be VS Code. It should be probably coder.com, coder, something like this, coder.com, whatever. So it has started running, and this is the address, like a URL for accessing that. Logs will stream in below. Press Ctrl C to gracefully exit. Of course we can exit this as well, but I don't want to exit it actually. Then I'm gonna continue with the GitHub, and let's see what all options we get here. Apart from this particular thing, what can I do? Web dev. The next thing that I can actually do here, that is first of all, at least get it done. Auto scaling, like this is kind of an orchestrator that I have to get done anyhow. So this thing is gonna be done, and after that let's see what's gonna happen. One thing at a time. Paste it here. Authorize. Once authorized, congratulations, you are all set. Your device is now connected. Great. Coming back to this one, it should be authorized right now. Okay, great. So even we have to use we have gone through New Relic, but so far we haven't really used it in any working project. So we are going to be doing that too. Even similarly, Prometheus, Grafana, whatever we are learning, we have to implement those things in a project as well. By the way, okay, so these are the things that I have. Templates, I can just simply get the templates from here. And what I want, AWS EC2 Linux, AWS EC2. I mean, these are the templates that are available here. Create your first template. Templates are written in Terraform and describe in infrastructure for your workspace. You can start using a starter template or create your own. So if I click on create my own, then from here I will get the option to create a template. So write coder on coder, write coder on coder, creating a template. Users with a template administrator role above can create templates with coder CLI CI/CD. Okay, let's not worry about this one. What I'm gonna be doing right now, that is tasks on Docker containers, provisions Docker container search coder. Let's use this template and see what happens. Once this is done, then let's simply click on save. You are built. Okay, it's just simply setting up. So let it set up. What else apart from this particular thing? uh, we can directly run this what we have to do, we can get code server from coder.com, and I think that is that comes only from there. And once we have code server, then we can just simply run that. Having said that, what is this doing is okay, let me do one thing. Coder server coder.com, code server. Let's see ultimately what am I gonna be getting from here. Let's click on install. Clicking on install. npm standalone arc mac os docker. If I want to install it on Docker, then code server. I think this is what I wanted, didn't I? So Docker run iterative mode code server, and so which website is this? This is coder.com again, and port number should be 8080 $home this pw. Okay, so ultimately this is it, and this is running where? This is directly running where? Inside my local machine. So but I will not have node over there. That will be problematic. That simply means I will have to install node again, but okay, that will not be a problematic thing. So if I go to home, then that's gonna be too much, or won't it? This is coder server section. So ultimately run VS Code on any machine anywhere, access it in the browser. This is what we were exploring. So whatever we are doing, that's not exactly the one. This is what I actually wanted to do. So this code from the coder.com, we get code server kind of VS Code. You have to do nothing actually, just simply make a search, and that is VS Code coder.com. It actually comes from there. So Visual Studio coder docs, something like this. Let's simply click on this, and once you click on it, you will be redirected here. And Visual Studio Code, you can develop your own coder space remotely with VS Code. We support did this Visual Studio Code, and well, this is not the one that I've been looking for. There should be coder.com. I thought using this particular one it will give me, but I'm just still exploring it, exactly what it provides here. Okay, so let's get rid of this user guide. I should go to install and then coder CLI. Still looking for the right option. I think directly there's no possibility of getting it. So let me do one thing. I'll directly search coder.com. That's the only possible way. So code server coder.com. Let's simply search this. I am mainly gonna be going with the code server right now. And once here coder server VS Code in the browser, yeah, it has the GitHub account as well, like GitHub repo as well. Let's click on the home first of all. This is all that we have to go through. So highlights, code on any device with a consistent development environment. Use the cloud servers to speed up tests, compilations, and downloads and more. Preserve battery life when you are on the go. All intensive tasks run on server. Requirements, see requirements for minimum. Okay, let's click on this. So requirements, you will need a machine which you can run code server. You can use physical machine you have, or you can use a virtual machine or GCP AWS. 1 GB RAM, 2 CPU cores. You can set up a virtual machine on Google Cloud. The following steps walk you through the setting of virtual machine Debian Google Cloud through your You are welcome, blah blah blah. If you are signing up with Google Cloud for the first time, you should get a 3-month trial with a 300 of credits. After you sign up and create a new Google Cloud Provider GCP project, create a new compute engine VS instance using this sidebar navigation. A compute engine, this. Oh, amazing job. Such a good thing. Why? Because so far we have been only using EC2 machines, right? We are on AWS, and over here we are creating the EC2 machines to just simply get this job done. It's actually a good opportunity to explore the same thing on Google Cloud. So I'm gonna be going with that. Until then, even this was the thing that we were going with. So hopefully we have. I wanted to explore exactly what kind of uh, features we are gonna be getting at the end. So create workspace, Docker containers. Let's simply click on this. So workspace name, code.com. Let me click on create workspace. Of course I have to, okay, I just directly clicked. Okay, never mind. So this is all, okay, let it just simply work in the background. And the next thing is that let me go to, because all the steps have been mentioned here, so Google Cloud, let's simply go here. And as I'm inside Google Cloud right now, let me click on get started for free. And if I'm not wrong, I should be getting some free credits as well, right? 300 free credits. Let me switch the account and go with this one. So by default I should be getting the credits, shouldn't I? I should. To avoid losing access, payment overview, remind me later, credits, how many do I have? It turns out I don't really have any credit here in this one. I'm gonna be going with this probably. Hopefully I will get some. I agree. Continue. Coming back to this, request permission. You will need additional. Okay, let me do one thing. Start your free trial with the 300 credit. Don't worry, you won't be charged. Okay, that's great. Start free trial. I hope it will not ask for more money. I think it try Google with 300 credits to spend over next. It will ask for 1000 rupees if I'm not wrong. If I want to get that. Step 2, payment information verification. Don't worry, this chart is still free. Collecting your payment information helps us verify your identity to reduce fraud. You won't be charged unless you manually activate a full pay as you go. Add this payment method. Let me see how much it's gonna be asking. Forget about this payment method. I need to add this, right? State this, doesn't really matter. Hopefully it's gonna work. Here we are. The payment method. Let's see whether it's gonna actually. How much money is this gonna ask for? That's what I wanna check. Okay, start free. Any problem? Let's see whether it does the job directly or not. So coming back to this, scan it. Such a long password I have. Sometimes it takes a lot of time to just unlock my own mobile. It's better to explore new things every time you just do the same thing. So if you are actually creating a virtual machine, why not create the virtual how much amount? Okay, setup. How much did it charge? Hopefully it's gonna be working fine. Let's see. me keep my billing can't be completed. Amazing job. It just simply asks for money. This action couldn't be completed, and it will keep asking for money again and again. It happened last time as well. I don't know why. I'm gonna be trying it later. For some reason, it just keeps saying that it failed and failed and failed. If I click on add credit card and all, so I think it only accepts the payments from what? It only accepts the payments from credit cards if I'm not wrong. Otherwise, it just keeps failing and all. I have no idea, but we'll be exploring it soon. So let's not go through it. This is not the right time to just simply spend time going with this type of stuff. So right now, I will just simply create the virtual machine directly on VS Code, or not VS Code, AWS, and later I will definitely explore this part as well. So the last option is gonna be this. So coming back to this one, these are the things that we have to go, and lastly, we have to fix this problem. Google Cloud account, Google Cloud credits. So this is also that we have to do. This is the this will be focused, or this will be worked on at the end. Coming back to this one, highlights requirement. Getting started. For getting started, if you install a script, you can preview what occurs during pre-installation process, just like this. To install this, do this, and when done, install script prints out the instruction for running the starting code server. Note to manage code server for team on infrastructure. See the coder code dot. Okay, let me click on this. What does this say? Self-hosted code server. So first of all, you have to install it. Then you have to just simply run a code server. And once you are running code server, there are two ways. Either you can run this inside a Docker command, Docker container, or you can directly run in the virtual machine. Both the ways are possible. Both the ways is gonna work. Once installed, you can start production deployment with a single command. Code server requires Postgres instance version 3 or higher external access URL. Coder server Postgres URL, and then you can just simply provide the URL over here. Use coder helper to get list. Okay, so this is how it's gonna be going on. So the simplest command is this, that you have to just simply go with. That's gonna be first of all, install coder. So let me copy it from here. Coder.com will be installed just like this, and once it is installed, then we will be just simply going ahead. Code server. Okay, so what am I gonna be doing? It is sort of working. Mainly we were focusing on this as well, so let me come back here. So over here we have VS Code desktop, coder server, and this. If I click on VS Code desktop, what will happen? Open, install extension, open URI, trust publisher. What will happen here? Fail to log in to code server. Okay, got that. Coming back to this one, the next one is code server. What will it do? Then we have something called terminal. Okay, it does open. Here we are. So we are able to open VS Code, and we are running it locally. Ultimately, it always runs locally, but ultimately it's running on this particular URL. So this is the difference right now. Let me make it dark. Here we are. Okay, so ultimately VS Code is running. If I copy it from here, if I just simply paste it in here, so hopefully I will be able to see the result here as well. And let's see. Yeah, how about node? Do I have node here? Because it is running on my local machine, if I'm not wrong. So as it is running on my local machine, so I should be getting the node version as well. Well, that is not found. I'll have to just simply install node sudo apt update. Yeah, if I'm able to update, that simply means I can install it as well. So ultimately we are able to run it, and the thing is that this is running inside what? Oh wait, this is not running inside my local machine. This is actually running inside the EC2 machine, this particular machine that I have. Over here I'm actually running it. So that's interesting stuff. So using that we are actually able to run VS Code inside like inside web. Apart from this particular thing, I can just simply get the terminal as well, and lastly I can even stop it as well. So it runs coder.com inside a container. So this is how it just simply goes. I can just simply click on stop, it will be stopped. So this is what actually happens inside the coder.com directly when you just run the whole command. Apart from this particular thing, you can directly get a command for VS Code. So for doing that, let me come back here. Let me change the name from VS Code to coder.com and all. This should be coder.com, and the next instance that I will be creating, that's gonna be VS Code. Over here I will directly run VS Code, and once I'm running VS Code, this is gonna be enough, more than enough. Then I will try to download a Node.js here itself, and let's see how it's gonna be going on. Dipendra, let's simply launch it really quick. I messed it up. Why? The cores, how many cores does it have? The number of cores it has, 2 number of CPUs. I think that should be more than enough. Number of CPUs 2, yeah, it should be enough. Coming back to this one, so I have this VS Code running. I just need its IP address. Let me stop everything from here, from the first one, and let me run this command. You just simply SSH into the machine. Turns out I have a lot of, okay, I haven't even exited yet, so let me exit it. Let me run this command. Let me remove the IP address and add the new one. Yes, let me clear it. Okay, so this much we've done. What is the next thing? The next thing is that running this not this command actually, running this command. Where is that? How to run VS Code directly. I think this is the one that is used. Let's click on install. We can install using Docker as well, but we won't wanna do that. We install SSH. You can preview the npm. We can install even using npm if I'm not wrong. Sudo apt-get install build this. Everything is fine. Let's simply click on normal install, and coming back to this one, you can preview this, and after that install it using this. So let me click on this, come back here, install using curl, and this time what will happen? Code server should directly be installed. So ultimately I just want the code server to be running on the EC2 machine. Code server. Then after that, what can I do? Once it is actually installed, then I think you can just simply run code server. Yeah, and once you run the code server here, so not serving HTTPS and all, using password this. Let me go to this particular URL. Okay, it is not allowed. I will have to change the inbound rules, that is for sure. HTTP server listening on this, authentication is enabled using password from this, not serving HTTPS on 8080 ports. First of all, let me enable this. So it turns out I have to stop it first of all. Once it is stopped, let me go to security. Really quick, I'm gonna be enabling the inbound rules. Let's click on this TCP on 8080 port. It should be from anywhere. Let me click on save. Once it is saved, let me restart it again. Once done, let me click on this. Not getting yet. I think why? Listening on this. So what was happening earlier when I was running the container? So container was exposing it on 3000 port and I was listening it on 3000 port. So it was working that way. Okay, sorry, that's my bad. I'm directly trying to get it on localhost. I should not be getting that. Rather, I should be using the IP of what? IP of my container. So I think this is the one. I think so. The name of this is what? The name of this is don't know. Let's click on this. The one that I want, that is this VS code. The IP is this. I'd better just simply add use the IP over here instead of using this localhost. And let me make a request. Reload it. It still doesn't seem to be working. Is that the same IP? It is just simply saying that it is running on localhost this. It is running on localhost. So if I actually try to use the IP of it, 221. Coming back to this one, what is the name of the machine? It is actually 221. So that simply means if I use this, I should be able to get this result on 8080 port, and that I'm not able to. Security group. So over here, let me click on this. Okay, let's click on this again, and here the user is allowed on port 8080, and this is okay. Port 8080 custom. How about adding new rules? It will not make any difference anyway, because even if I'm gonna be allowing this, and I'm gonna allowing HTTP as well, how will it make any difference? By the way, should be able to set it from anywhere, even if it has been set, but ultimately the most important role this particular thing plays. And okay, so what is the next thing that I can do here? This is the Ubuntu machine. ls stop, and sort of nothing is running right now, because of course I haven't started that. Let me take the help of AI a bit over here. Control C. Otherwise I'll be stuck over here and will not be able to move to the next one. How to access it? Right now port server is running only on localhost. This means only the server itself can access it, not your browser. So you need to export it to the local network. So run coder server on all interfaces. So we started like this: coder bind address to this. Okay. So now it will listen on port 00, which means any IP address can access it. By default it is running on localhost, and because of that thing I'm not able to access this. So I have to make it 0000 so that any IP can access. Get your config public IP, called IP ifconfig me. Let me paste it here, not this one. What was that? That was called ifconfig me. Called ifconfig me. It returns the IP address of mine. Okay, and what I have to do when I'm running code server, I have to just simply bind it to what? At that time I have to bind it to the address this. So bind it to address 0.0.0.0 and 8080. This is how it should be going on. The same thing should be mentioned here. I think that is already mentioned. I didn't have a look at that properly. This is the first thing. Apart from this particular thing, this way you can just simply install it, PostgreSQL, and then nothing's been mentioned here. Coming back to this one, let's go to at the top, and curl install, you have installed that, and method prefix version. Apart from this particular thing, npm, these are the ones to just simply, these are the commands to just simply install it. And now visit, so if you are running it locally, then you can just simply visit your local server and then you will be able to see the result. But when you are actually running it inside an EC2 machine, at that time you need to export it 00, something like that. I think so. Is there anything, something called bind? Nope, I cannot really find it here. npm helm. How about clicking on home and not home, install? Now I'm gonna be installing it inside what? I'm gonna be installing it inside probably inside Docker. Do I have bind here? Bind here? Nope. So it will automatically be, even this particular thing will be running on localhost, and then it's 080, and that is okay. Usually it does that only. So if something is running on localhost, I should be able to access that. By the way, let me try this thing, whether it actually works or not. Bind address, this unknown error, I missed something or what? Bind address, R is missing there from there. If it works, then of course I need to know more about it, because this is something interesting. Okay, let me go here. Of course I have to use the IP address of my copy it, and let's simply paste it here, 8080. Oh yeah, it does seem to be working. Coder, server, password, submit. Never. Incorrect password. Did I? Now I have to enter the password. Code server password. Did I actually create a password for it? No way. How to fix this particular thing? And when it actually asks for the password, please log in below. Check the config home Ubuntu YAML for the password. Okay. Check what? Home Ubuntu config code. Oh my god, seriously? You've got to be kidding me. But let me do that. So I have to look for the password. I cannot get the password directly over here. Okay, not a problem. The password is saved in my EC2 machine itself. Coming back to this one, once it is running, then now I can go to cd/home ls. Where do I have to go? Ubuntu config. Let me do one thing. This particular file, right? Control C. Bro. Control C. CD. This. Literally Vipendra. ls cat config ml. Okay, so bind address, auth password. Password is this. Amazing job. Control C. Let it be here actually. It doesn't really matter. Let me paste the password over here. Submit it. finally. Okay, amazing job. So I am able to get it. The only thing is that I have to enter the password. Such a great thing that is. But let me change the theme from here. First of all, that's gonna be dark. So yeah, I'm able to get it. What is the next thing? The next thing is that ls node is definitely not there, and it turns out yes. And as node is not there, nothing is gonna be happening. So it is running on my EC2 machine directly. I can even run it inside inside the container as well. That's not really big problem. And install node.js. Let me copy the whole command. It will be installed. Coming back to what? Coming back to this. Let me install it here. Hopefully it's gonna be working fine. So this is the VS Code that is running inside the EC2 machine, and this is not enough actually. After this I have to create a what? If I wanna run this, I have to create images and all. Like I have to create auto scaling group. ls node version. This is running. That simply means if I create a file index.js ls code index.js, I should be able to open this here. Well, even code is not found. That is interesting. Oh, well, that's bad actually. What interesting? How to open it? This is the file that I have, and now I actually want to open this file. Open a folder, and that should be this one. Any problem? Yes, I trust the author. No problem as such. Right now I'm getting that index dot whatever file I created. Okay, once I'm here, what is the next thing? The next thing, console.log hi, and of course I need to install some extensions and all, but what is the problem? Why is this taking time? Is my machine not able to handle this? Probably. What am I supposed to be doing now? Bash. Let me reload it. Wait, what is the problem here? Has my backend crashed? Let me run it again. Reload it. Okay, finally getting this stuff. Understand. ls, and of course I have to write the command over here. Console.log hello world, and once I've written the command, after that I'm not able to. Oh, it is not able to save it. Interesting. It does try to save it, but that does not work. It gets stuck there. Interesting. And it has stopped. Why is that so? It's just unable to find some of the files. Because of that thing, it simply stops and nothing works. Unknown, never seen, extension host has started. At the end, reload the window. The problem is that it is unable to find the right place for the saving the file, and because of that thing, it just simply fails. So how about doing this thing? vi index.js and writing console dot log inside this cat index like this, and if I run node index.js, I'm gonna be getting the response. So at least this way it doesn't stop. Maybe it is unable to handle it, or maybe it doesn't have a lot of space to simply run the VS Code and all, and because of that thing I'm having to face that problem. But okay, ultimately it is working. That simply means I can start more things, and if I have good storage, CPU and all, so it will be able to handle the load as well. So this thing I've done. What is the next thing? Let's simply exit this, and once exited, let me close this as well. So this was not the main goal. So what is the main goal right now? Let me stop it, exit this as well, exit this, exit this. Alrighty, so what is the next thing that I'm supposed to be doing now? The next thing is that I have this image over here. Okay, fine, you have this VS Code image over here, and now I have to create, not image actually, I have this instance running. Using this instance I'm gonna be creating the image of it. To create the image, VS Code image img, local description, no need. Let's simply click on create the image. Once this is done, so if I go to my AMIs right now, so I will have that particular image right now, though I have many ones. So this some of them I'm gonna be just simply deregistering. Okay, so I have only one. What am I gonna be doing now? VS Code image. I mean, is this the one that I created? Last launched time 037. Ha. Let me deregister this as well. Coming back to this instance. That's already selected. Let me click on create image, VS Code img image. Let me create the image. Okay, once the image is created, I should be getting it here. So I have this image, and once I have the image, I'm gonna be creating the launch templates. Again, the previous launch templates, I'm gonna be deleting all the templates from here. Doesn't really matter to have them here. Once that is done, then let's simply click on the create template. EC2 machine. I already have the image. So what is the next thing that I have to do? Let's see. Launch template, something like this. So VS Code launch template. I have to just run one command, and that it should be enough. But there's gonna be a problem. Even if I run that command, I would still need the IP address. Using the IP address, you can definitely run that, right? Yeah. And my AMIs or recent ones, it doesn't really matter. VS Code image, this is the one that I'm gonna be using here. Any problem here? Let's click on my AMIs, and I'm gonna be using VS Code. Okay, what is the next thing? The next thing is the template type. That's gonna be T3 small. Keep here, that's gonna be Vipendra AWS. Network setting, I have to allow 8000 port, right, for in all of them. That's right. So in that case, create security group, and that's gonna be my VS Code security group. That doesn't really matter. Coming back to this one, allow SSH 8080 port. Coming back to this, let me click on this. I have to allow SSH and that's gonna be custom from anywhere, and that is okay. Coming back to this one, the next one needs to be custom, okay, on port 8080. Again, it also needs to be from anywhere. That's it. Apart from this particular thing, let me go to advanced details, and here shebang slash bash slash ssh. I hope this is what's written. What is the name of this? Over here we are mainly trying to create AWS launch templates, right? In that case, horizontal, just a minute. Shebang, how is that? Bin bash, that was wrong actually. So hashtag this slash bin slash bash. So this is how it's written. Apart from this particular thing, I don't really need to go anywhere. I have to just run one command and that's it, nothing else. And that's gonna be coder serve and bind address on 8080 0.0.0.0 and 8080. So this is how it's gonna be going on, right? If I'm not wrong, I think that was I suggested initially. Yeah. So ultimately, locally, if I'm running that, so I will definitely have to bind the addresses. That's the only option that I have. Already, it should be able to run this, and coder serve bind address. I'll have to even check the logs if it doesn't work. So coder serve bind address 0.0.0.8080, and hopefully it's gonna be fine. Let's see. Template is created. What is the next thing? The next thing is that I have to create an image using the template. Let's see whether it works or not. So this is the launch template that I have. Launch instance from the template. This is the template, and apart from this particular thing, application OS image, AMI from catalog, T3 small, okay, fine. Everything is already selected, no need to worry about anything. Let's simply click on launch instance. I wanna see whether it works or not. Coming back to this one, let me copy the IP address of this. Let me go here, IP address 8080, and reload it. So if I go to security, click on this, by default it does allow 8080. Okay, if it actually allows this, so what about the logs? Why am I not getting the result? ls cd downloads ls. That simply means there's something wrong with the, I'll have to create a new version of the template here. Sudo ssh input and VIP Ubuntu @ this. The password is wrong. Okay, ls. Now I have to log the value. So the value of what? User data log in EC2, run commands logs AWS user data. Okay, I think this is the one. Not this. User data, what is that? What was that? EC2 user data script sample. EC2 user data output log, logging AWS EC2 script output on Windows. EC2 user data logs. Seriously, what should I be writing here? This is usually user data, if I'm not wrong. And not getting the exact thing what I'm looking for. That was like slash where slash log slash output dot log, something like this. Slash where slash user data log. I think this is the one. Nope. There was a proper Stack Overflow blog on that. I mean chat on that. I'm getting everything but that. What is the next thing that I can do? I haven't even saved the link. Yeah, that's crazy. I should have saved the link somewhere. Just a minute. I can find the link. Launch template. Got the image link. That is the EC2 instance. User data EC2 instance. That's the same user data EC2 instance. I think this is the one. Let me write the whole title. Unfortunately, this Google is not giving me that. How to check whether my user data passing to EC2 instance is working. How to check whether my user data passing to, I have checked this. Here it is. Let's simply copy it. It took a lot of time. Cat and this. Okay. Coder server. Doesn't it run directly? Usually containers, the command should usually run. That I had there. So cloud warning running mode. How can I check whether whatever commands I have, they are actually running or not? Usually, what is the command type? cd home npm this, export this, npm start interpreter bin bash. Come back to this particular section. Let me not outbound rules actually. This was what? This is the, let me close this. So control W and control W, same here. I'm gonna be having only one right now. Let me click on my image. The image that I created, that is fine. The template that I created here, how can I make sure that it is working as expected? Like, we can create many instances using the template, that's not really a big problem, but so shebang bin bash, just simply saying that bash should be used over there. Coder server bind address. So if I run this same thing inside this, so what happens? It doesn't run here as well. Why? ls, that is code server, sorry, my bad. Yeah, now it runs. So ultimately the command that I gave there, that command itself was wrong. This should be code server. Let me create a new template version. Once it is created, let me go here, and I'm actually gonna be selecting the second one, and from this I'm gonna be launching my template. I'm gonna be launching an instance using the template. Version should be 2 this time, and I don't really need to worry about anything else. Launch it now. Launched. Come here, copy the address, go here, again directly it will not work, that is for sure. 8080, still interesting. Version number 2, what's there here in the version number 2? Modify, I have to modify the version number 2. Let me go to the end. Code server bind address this. So usually it works, right? So let me do one thing. I will even be checking this, but before that, this was the address. Let me go here, and I'm gonna be okay. It does work. Sorry, I did not have the right IP address, and because of that thing it did not work, but it is working right now. So great, interesting. Exit. So ultimately this command is running well, and as this is running, so let me do one thing. I'm gonna be going here to the instances, all the instances that I have. I'm gonna be just simply terminating all of them, because now the instances are gonna be created automatically from the auto scale input side. So this thing I've done. What is the next thing? They are going to be terminated for sure. So I have my launch template that is working. Apart from this particular thing, it's I'm not gonna be creating load balance and target groups. I'm just simply gonna be creating auto scaling group right now, and inside this I have many hostname app, VS Code, testing app. Let me delete them. Okay, done. What is the next thing? The next thing is that I have to create a auto scaling template group. VS Code ASGs auto scaling groups. One launch template VS Code. This version is gonna be 2. Let's click on next. Availability zones. Let's keep it only 1 because this is gonna be VS Code. I don't want to use 2 zones for one VS Code. Next, no load balancer. Yeah, no load balancer, no APS. Enable this. Let's click on next. By default I want 2 of them. It should be 1 minimum, it should be 10 maximum, and no policy right now. I can have a policy as well, but there is a thing. When should I have the policy? If I have a server, then I'm getting a lot of requests over the server. Then, and in this case, it doesn't really make any sense to have a target tracking policy, because CPU utilization, network, this, all these things are not gonna be making any sense. So yeah, I'm not gonna have any auto scaling policy. And as for this one, it can be 1, max 10. By default I gonna have 1 only, and whenever I send the requests, it should be increasing. Okay, that's fine. Let me have 2 by now. I mean for now then. And apart from this particular thing, nothing else. Let's simply click skip to review. Let's simply start it. Alrighty, this should be starting what? It should mainly be starting 2 instances right now, and they are pending. That's fine. And then there's one more thing that I have to do. Somehow I have to stop and start the instances from my Node.js application. Let me click on this and these 2. I'm gonna be copying the IP address of this one. So copy the IP address of this, and gonna be pasting over here 8080. I'm getting the result. Again, for the password I need to go there. We can even remove the password related stuff and all. That works fine. And similarly, this thing should also be working fine. The another one, copy the IP address. Let me paste here itself 8080. Yeah, gonna be getting the same interface here as well. Done. What is the next thing that I have to do? Ultimately VS Code is running, and W, we can even run it inside a Docker container. That's completely up to us. We have stopped it, right? So once it is stopped, if I reload it, message peer not connected. Close this Docker container, install this, done. Okay, so what is the next thing? The next thing is pretty simple. Exit it first of all, and that is somehow we have to use SDK. How do we use SDK and all? Let's go with this on the go. So it works fine. Let me go to EC2 instances, and right now if I click on running instances, so I will be getting 2, and they've been started by the a auto scaling group only. What is the next thing? Now I have to use an SDK for auto scaling group, and I have to increase the number of auto scaling groups somehow. Okay, a auto scaling group SDK, auto scaling group, AWS SDK client auto scaling group. Okay, this is the one. Let's simply go with this. So first of all, of course, I will have to install it, and once installed, the next thing is that where should I run it? Should I be running it? Should I create a Node.js application and run it, or should I go with the new way? What is that new way? That new way is the Hono. You must have. I'm gonna be going with this new approach, Cloudflare. Using this Cloudflare, I can just simply. But I will not be using Cloudflare. I will be using Hono here. Even soon, I have to just go live. The last, I mean, topic is this only. So if I come back here, serverless backend, we will be talking about Cloudflare. We will be talking about not Honey, that is actually Hono, and we will be talking about how you can integrate Prisma with that. But before even that, I have to integrate this much we've done. VS Code inside the Docker container.com done. Not inside the Docker container. There is a command as well for this. So coder.com code server coder.com, or just write code server. Hopefully you should be getting that code server this. So if you check this thing out now, so inside install, select Docker over here, and this is the command to just simply run that. It simply starts the container inside what, even you can set your what, present working directory, Docker user, and this is the environment variable and all. But yeah, you can set all these things over here, and that can be done more, of course. But this is the command that you get over here to just simply run it. It will be just simply running the command coder server, and that will be running inside the container. This can also be done. So let me do it really quick. Doing it really quick in the sense just running it inside the EC2 machine. So let me create an EC2 machine quickly, launch an instance. It's gonna be pretty quick. This is gonna be VS Code. Let me see exactly what do we get. Coming back to this one, Ubuntu. I have to learn, not learn actually. I have to know how to get the credits of Google Cloud, because don't know, I've spent around 20, because every time it just deducts 22 rupees or something, and I just fail to do that every time. So that is something I have to just know more about. Coming back to this one, this, copy the IP address. There is a problem. What? There is no EC2. What? I'll have to create one more because I haven't set. I think, I hope I have set. Let me try to SSH into the machine. So sudo SSH, sudo downloads, sudo SSH input, open Ubuntu, this 3, yes. I hope I have added the key. Okay, I have. Clear. Okay, what is the next thing? The next thing is that simply running the command, this one. But for running this command, I need to install Docker. Quite a lot of stuff. Docker install Ubuntu. Don't know how many times I have to do that. This one, quite simple, straightforward. Copy paste stuff. Copy it, paste it. Coming back to this one, copy it. Of course, I'll have to say yes over here. I hope everything's going right. I haven't even checked the status of the live right now. Meanwhile, this is happening. Okay, that is right. So coming back to this, let me say yes. Yes. Okay, this is gonna be starting. Now I need the command to just simply start it. So if I want to start it, this is the command to just simply start. This will start a coder container and expose it to add this. It will also mount your current directly into container as the current directly into container as /home coder projects, and forward your UID GID so that all file system operations occur to your user outside the container. Your home config is mounted as home config within the container to ensure you can easily access modify your coder config of home this outside the container. By the way, I just need to copy this and then paste it there. Hopefully this is gonna be working. Okay, so let me run it. Oh, I hope it will not run. For this thing I'll have to add sudo here, and then it's gonna be running. So it will just simply pull the image, and once the image is actually pulled, it will just simply get the job done. And the next thing is that, first of all, let's do it, and then I will talk about the next thing. Okay, it has started working. Now it is actually running on this particular port. So if I just copy the IP of this, copy the, come on, this particular section, this was the IP if I'm not wrong. And if I go to port 8080, so let's see whether I get the result or not. By default it runs on 00 port, so we don't really need to worry about it. So it turns out I haven't defined one thing, the inbound rules. Click on this and let me add the inbound rule for 8080 port. Again, it's gonna be from anywhere for now. Let me save the changes, coming back to this, and this time it should be working fine. Reload it. The port has already been added, I mean inbound rule. So once that is already added, in that case, interesting. What is the issue? I have to restart it again. Okay, sudo docker process status for all, sudo docker restart code server. It has started again. Once it has started, oh, okay. So what is the issue? Sudo docker logs code server HTTP listening on this. So even if I just simply click on this, nothing will happen on this particular port. That simply means I will have to use the IP address. Coming back to the IP address, so curl ifconfig.me. So this is the IP address of this. Control Shift C, and if I actually use the IP address here, still not able to reach this. What am I missing here? How about if I run it on my local container, like on my local device? Let's see. If I copy the same command from here, if I come here, back here, paste it here, of course I'll have to enter sudo at the beginning. Done. And let's see what it does. It's gonna be pulling. The only difference is that this is gonna be running on my local machine, that one is running on the C2 machine. I wanna check the result, exactly what kind of result I get over here, and after that I will be fixing the stuff there. So let's click on this. So yeah, I get the same thing. It is just simply saying that I can get this thing there. So if I'm actually getting it here, so the same problem is that binding rule. ls docker process status a sudo, I have code the server, right? So sudo docker process remove code server sudo docker process status for all. Alrighty, I have only one right now. So overall thing is clear that there are two things. First of all, this 8080 is not allowed, and if it is actually allowed, in that case the port number is the binding is the problem. How can I get the binding done the right way? That is something I have to think about. HTTP server listening on this. So the command that I have, sudo docker process status, sudo docker process state kill. It is running actually on port this. I have to change the port now so that it actually accepts the requests from anywhere. Sudo docker remove code server, and then I'm gonna copy it again. I'm gonna paste it over here. Few things that I'm gonna be changing here this time, and that's gonna be just only one actually. It somehow 0.0.0.0 ultimately accept the request from everywhere. It is not just limited to localhost. Let's see what happens. So this works right now, and once this works, coming back to this, let me copy the IP address. The IP address is this one. If I reload the page, this should be enough. Okay, here we are. It is working finally. So we have to just simply change the binding rules and all. And the real question is, I actually asked this question to the AI, and AI suggested about the binding stuff. Yeah, this is the one. So the question is, why does this work? Code server binding address, this it works because of how network interfaces work in Linux. So what 127 means, when your logs showed HTTP server listening on this is a loopback address. It means only the same machine can access the service. A request must come from the inside the server. Example that works curl HTTP this. Okay, what 00 means, listen on all network interfaces including this public IP internet and all. Example of interfaces on your your machine might have something like localhost, then Ethernet connection this, and public IP this. So if you bind to this, only curl can listen, works, otherwise this now all will work. Okay, fine. Visualize explanation. Internet, public IP, Ethernet, server, localhost. If you bind to this, only localhost receives. If you bind to this, all traffic receives. Security node, binding to this exposes the service to the entire internet if firewall allows it. That is why production setups usually use Nginx proxy, HTTPS, and all these things. Since you are working with servers, Docker, monitoring, sockets, deployment, understanding this concept is very important for backend engineers. If you want, I can also explain a very interesting take why localhost this and behave differently, even though they all point to the same. Do that. So we will compare. Localhost is not an IP address; it is host name. Your system converts it to IP using the host file. So etc host. So this references to this one. That's right. This is for the IPv6. So when you run curl, your first converts to this one, then a request goes to the that IP, something like this. Oh, sorry. Literally. So this is a loopback address. Nope, not this section. So when you run this, so your request converts to this, and then this happens. This is the loopback IP address. Loopback means a network traffic that never leaves the machine. Loopback IP address, network traffic that never leaves the machine. Application, kernel, loopback to interface, application. It never touches the network card. Called this traffic path process, loopback process. From the process, yeah, got it. No router, no firewall, no internet. 0.0, this is the most misunderstood one. 0. This means all available network interfaces. It is used when starting servers, not when making requests. Example code server this. Meaning listen on this private IP, public, and any interface. But you cannot browse to this. Instead, you use localhost or server IP. Visual comparison. Browser, DNS host lookup 127 this. So ultimately, we use the public IP address, and it listens on that particular public IP address as well. Yeah, got it. And we can directly use the public IP address to just simply listen. That's fine. Real backend example. Node server is listening on this, accessible only from localhost 3000, not from internet. One more thing. What was my mistake over here? Let me show you that too as well. So let me stop it. Docker process status. The thing is that I'm specifically telling it that run on this. That's the main problem. Oh, my back is hurting. Docker process status in sudo docker remove. So the main problem is this. If you actually copy this command from here, Control C, everything is fine. I mean, it's not like it's not working and all. There is only one thing missing. What is that? And just a minute, give me a second. Yeah, so coming back to this one, remove list clean. Auth should be none. How can I specify that auth is gonna be none? Bind address to 000. We are actually binding address to 000. So we need to bind the address to 0.0.0.0 if we actually want it to be accessible. Otherwise it's not gonna be accessible. Apart from this particular thing, I wanna do one more thing here. How can we set auth to none? I'm gonna be asking this to AI, but what if I am not gonna be using this? Just this much, because most of the time what happens, containers are actually if I don't use this, most probably it will be running on port 000. And home, I will be adding sudo over here, and sudo here as well. Control C. Let me see. How can I make the authentication none? How to set auth to none? Because it asks for the authentication. By default, code server enables password authentication. To disable, set auth none. So ultimately, auth none, I have to just simply mention it at the end and nothing else. Will it work? Most probably should be working. Environment variable, this disables login completely. So modify the config. Since you mounted home, did this config, there will be a config file here, config code server config ml. Open it. Nano this something like this. Change this line to auth password. So auth none. Auth password to auth none. Example final config should be looking like this. Then restart the container. Fine. Coming back to this one. Sudo name this and this. We are quite done with the things. The only thing is that I have to mention here environment variable, right? So just in here, oh shit, I started it. Okay, as it started, so let's not worry about that. uh, by mistake I did that, but yeah, we can set it authentication to none. And right now, if you actually have a look, so what is the IP address? The IP address is actually this one, right? I think the same IP address I'm using, but let me make it 8080. I'm able to access this. Why? Because when I write just 8080, so it automatically runs on 00 port. When port mapping is 8080 colon 8080, what does it mean? I think it simply means that on let me check. Host container and how the request flows. Browser host machine 8080 docker port container 8080. This, just a sec bro. Over here what am I saying? It should be running on this, on the local machine. uh, Local machine in the sense what? EC2, don't you think so? Yeah, inside the EC2 machine only that is running. So this is the port for the container, this is the port for the EC2 machine. I'm specifically saying that this particular port, that is simply local machine, and I think by default it actually accepts 0000. Let me come back here. What is host 0.0.0.0 or local host 8080 means what for EC2? That means IP is 0.0. Host is 0.0.0.0. Notice there are two things are differently constructed. Port bind address. Let's separate them. What port 8080 means? Port identifies which application should receive the request. Server send the request to port 8080. So port 80 HTTP port 3 port 3000 node server port 80 common web app. So you just tells which OS service to talk to. Means this bind, it means listen on all network interfaces. If I do this, stop it, ls docker sudo docker process status for all sudo docker remove code server ls. Coming back to this one, gonna be copying control w not copy this, come back to this particular section, copy the whole thing from here, control C, come back here, paste it here. If I run this much directly, of course I have to say sudo, and once this is running, and now if I copy the IP address or just simply reload this, I'm not getting the result. Okay, and now if I stop this, I'm gonna be running the same command, but before that, sudo process status for all sudo docker remove code server. Done. 1 2 1 home. If I remove this, this much, okay, once this is running, I'm actually able to access this. So let me copy this search. This Control Shift C, coming back to this one. Why is that? So when I run the first command, I don't need to do bind address. The difference comes from how Docker publishes the port on the host. Your two commands are using two different host bind ports. So the first one is this, and Docker interprets is as this. That's what I was saying, that if you are just simply using 8080, it interprets as 0.0.0.0, because most of the time when mapping the ports at that time, we do it like this, and uh, we are able to talk to the EC2 machine using the IP address of the machine, even without the binding the address, just because of this, that you are just simply doing 8080. In case if you are saying 127.0.01, then of course now Docker binds only to the local host. So this is the main difference. Alrighty, so this much we've done. So ultimately this thing is done. What is the next thing? Time 11:35. Control W. Come on, W. How to run this? We already know. That's a great thing actually. And one more thing that we can do, we can actually set the authentication to null. So auth is gonna be set as none, and hopefully it will not ask me for the authentication. So let me even try this. So docker sudo docker remove code server, and after that this command auth is gonna be set to none. Listening, copy. Let me reload this. Sorry. And wow, it is actually not asking for the authentication. Such a great thing this is. So you can just simply add a colon auth no auth. I mean this. Ultimately this is the command that I'm talking about. Oh my god, literally. This is the command I'm talking about. You can just simply set it to none, auth none, and it will not be asking for that. Interesting. Let me do one thing. What is the name of this? Let me open barrier. I think I'm not using what? Wi-Fi, so I will not be able to connect. Yeah, that is so. Let me do one thing. Alrighty, right now I've connected the Wi-Fi adapter. So right now I should be getting that option as well. Coming back to this Wi-Fi adapter, come on. Here it is, connected to the mobile Wi-Fi. Control W. I just need to, yeah, that's connected. Let me close this first of all, quit it, start barrier again, and this is the IP address, right? Let me start the barrier on my laptop as well, and I have to just add the IP address. So 10.36.4.59, I have to add 59 there, so 59. Let me start the barrier on the laptop, let me start the barrier here as well, and this way I'm able to use the same keyboard and mouse on two devices. So on my laptop I'm able to just simply operate both of them at the same time. And the reason I wanted to do this is simple, because I wanted to just add this code in my notes, as simple as that. Okay, so this much is done, or I can even just simply copy the whole thing and paste it here, and at the end I can just simply say auth is gonna be none, and let me remove this part, localhost address. Alrighty, so this much is done. The next thing is that I'm gonna be using the SDK so that I can increase or decrease the number of instances. Only this much I want to do, and then I can just think of it as done. I will consider it as done. So this thing we have already done. We have even run it inside the container. It is working fine. So let me get rid of this. Now ASG, auto scaling group. So we have created this. So let's get rid of this. Integrating inside in Node app. Let's not call it Node app. This time we are gonna be going with Hono. We will be creating a server using Hono, and we will even be deploying that on the go, and we will be using Cloudflare for this. Cloudflare. Again, Hono is built on top of Cloudflare only, so let's do that. So let me go to the website of Hono. Web framework. Get started, and I think concepts. Getting started. Basic. So npm create, I'm gonna be using bun. So bun create Hono at the latest my app. So let's do that. Exit. Okay, overall these things are working. So I'm gonna be creating the server here, right? Yeah, inside there. ls. Let me go to the learning section. Not this, yeah. Projects. And let me go to the learning section. Here I will be creating a folder, and that folder will be what? SDK with Hono. Let me open it. Code. Alrighty, this particular thing is done. Now ls bun create what? Okay, this needs to be closed right now. Coming back to this one. So bun create Hono. Bun create Hono at the latest, and I think current directory should be enough. Current directory. AWS Lambda bun. What will I be using? First of all, I'm gonna be using Cloudflare workers. I just need the backend, nothing else, and that should do my job, shouldn't it? Let's not go with this. Rather, I will say Cloudflare workers. I have Cloudflare workers plus white, and Next.js. Hono supports all these things, that's okay. But what I want to go with, I want to go with the Cloudflare workers plus white. I think this would be better. AWS Lambda Cloudflare pages I have. So yeah, let's go with that. Why is that so? So that I can increase and decrease the number of them on the go. I'm gonna be exploring this one this time. Do you want to install product dependency? Yeah. But I'm gonna be using. So this time what will happen? I will get the Cloudflare code for backend as well as the source. I have my normal index.ts over here. This is gonna be the server part, and I will have my backend render.tsx. So ultimately children JSX renderer, and again this is the first time exploring it. So ultimately I have front end and back end both. That's a great job. So this way we can create front end and back end, and we can deploy it on the go. Great job. What is the next thing? Pretty simple, yeah. I mean, we don't really have to do much. First of all, let's make sure that we are actually able to create something and we are able to deploy it, right? So this is the backend that I have, render app.use renderer. So ultimately it whatever I have inside that will be rendered. and then I have my server here, and c dot render hello. Oh, so it is just simply rendering the hello, and this is mainly supposed to be the backend. So let me run it first of all. Npm, not npm actually, but dev. Okay, so it is running on this. So let me open this, and I'm able to. Oh, not this one. This particular section. So I'm getting hello over here. What do I have to do now? Hopefully it will keep running that. And first of all, I'm gonna say that c dot text, or let me send the JSON data message. Hello there. Yeah, so I'm getting this particular message here. What is the next thing? I have my backend, I have my front end, and what I have to do. Oh, this is my front end, the children, renderer, and body. So I have head, I have this, I have children. JSX renderer. So I'm getting this renderer. I'm not getting one thing here. That can I create any page inside this and everything will be inside this children section automatically? JSX render. Coming back to this, from renderer I should have something called renderer.tsx. This is the only one I have. So from renderer I'm getting renderer, and once I have that, I'm just using it here. And I think, yeah, it does work. This is nothing but a middleware, first of all. This, so what we are actually doing here, this is this component is used as a middleware, so ultimately it is used over here. And then whenever I just render something here, like I'm gonna be rendering what, let me just check this thing out, check out the website as well on the go. So routers, they did this fun pages. Okay, npm create hono, they did this. Then ultimately, yeah, this is how it's gonna be going on. And when it is going on like this, if I can do this, apart from this particular thing, Angular custom, create bindings. You can cloud if you have bindings. Okay, fine. White config.json adapter, use bindings, client side. So I can even have the HTML over here directly, and having the HTML, I can go ahead with the things like this. Any problem? As such, no problem so far. Okay, guides, client components, and when it comes to the client components, so I can actually have the client components like this, and but how to use this? Create hono, middleware, client components validation, everything is fine, but one thing is not clear, that even if I'm using this Cloudflare pages here, but not getting any way to use the components the right way. I'm directly able to use the HTML here, and I think there is difference between the pages and the workers and the not getting the different thing, never mind. Okay, on request. Okay, so what can I do now? first of all, if I check this thing out, so most of the time we render this like this: Cloudflare dashboard login. We actually render the HTML like this, so ultimately we have to go with this way. We can render the things directly as well, so c dot render and whatever we want to render. So suppose I'm gonna be rendering h1 here, so hi there. Let me see what happens. Reload. Hi there. How about if I actually create a component? So inside this, I'm gonna be creating components, and inside components I'll have my VS, not VS Code, AWS SDK dot tsx and RFC AWS SDK AWS SDK, just like this, nothing else. And once I have this, so why not import it here? So import AWS SDK from this, and in here I'm gonna be rendering that directly. AWS SDK, of course I cannot do it directly, so AWS SDK like this. Wow, it does work. Interesting. So this way we can just simply go ahead with the things. So this is the rendering stuff. Okay, what is the next thing that I have to do? The next thing is that I already have the front end, and app dot the backend part. Let me make it post, and slash API slash v1 slash instance and how many instances do I want, right? In that case, if I want, suppose, so instance number, just like this. It's like exactly how many instances do I want at that time. Instance slash increase. I will do one thing, I will increase them, I will decrease them. This is the only thing that I want, nothing else. Increase and number. I think number, they should be fine. Okay. What should be the name of it? Increase. Let me make it number, doesn't really matter, or so maybe like this. And at the end I will be getting the context over here. Once I got the context, let's simply continue. Okay, so what will I be doing here? Interesting. So coming back to this particular thing, I can create environment variables here. So .env, and this thing is not quite needed, so let's get rid of this, close this. Rendered, not needed. Style, not needed. env, not needed. As for this one, I will be getting the request over here. Once I get the request over here, I have to just simply increase. So increase the number of instances. Then I need to have one more. Decrease the number of instances. API v1 instance decrease, just like this. So this is how I have to go ahead. As for getting the params, so const number is gonna be equals to c dot request dot para. Hopefully I will be able to get it like this. Let's see. This thing is done, and a CLG number, and even to make it even better, what return c dot text, and I'm gonna be sending the number. Num is argument num string. Num string is not assignable to parameter type string, so it should be like this, hopefully. That's right. So let me get rid of this. Similarly, okay, let's simply check this thing out. So I have to send a request to this one. Before even that, I have to run it. That's already running actually, and that is which one? That is a post request. So come back to this one, and what is the port number that it is running on? I'd better just simply restart it to check the port number. One dev. It is actually running on 5473. So it is the combination of both. It is it has the backend, it has the front end, both of them at the same time. Workers with YTR. It has the backend as well as the front end. Coming back to this one, let me go here. So http / localhost 5173 and slash this, not this. Number is gonna be actually 1 for now, and let me send the request from here. I'm getting 1 back. If I make it 2 or maybe 234, I'm gonna be getting 234. So yeah, it does work. Ultimately our server is running, and once the server is running, the same thing I'm gonna be doing here as well. Control C and Control V. What is the next thing? The next thing is that how can you can we send the request directly to this one? Maybe, but we'll see what we can do. But first of all, I have to use the SDK. Interesting. So let's go here, SDK, and let me use the dark mode here. Reload it. Fine. Oh, this is the worst. Sorry, I have to turn on the dark, like light mode. So I want to increase the dark. The question is, how can I do that? I have so many methods over here. Update auto scaling group, suspend start instant refresh, set desired capacity. I think this is the one, setting the desired capacity. Both the times it will do the job. Okay, that's fine. Let's go with this. Skip to main content. So set desired capacity. This is how we can just set the desired capacity. This way it will be increased, and the same way it will be decreased. And then we can get the number of instances and all. So yeah, this way it should definitely be working. So by the way, let me copy everything from here. Let me come back here and paste everything here. Don't know what all. Of course, I'll have to make it a sync. This particular thing, Control X, I'll have to import it here. Of course, I'll have to download the SDK as well. AWS SDK auto scaling group, npm, click on this. Of course I have to download this, but I will be downloading is using bun add, just like this. Ultimately what I want, I should be able to see all the instances on my UI, whatever the instances are running. I should be able to see their IP addresses. I should be able to delete them. I should be able to create new instances. So this is what I want on the UI. So it should be like I have the command. I'm creating my own UI. Oh, I have the UI of AWS of course, and here I'm creating my own UI. So just like that. But let's see how it's gonna be going on. I know just today itself it's not really gonna be possible to get it done, but at least we can increase and decrease the numbers, right? At least this much we can do. So auto scaling group, this is desired capacity. Auto scaling group set desired capacity. I have these two things over here. Import auto scaling group from SDK client. Auto scaling thing, that's what we are doing here. Let me get rid of this. Then type is auto scaling group config client. I will get the client. Got it. Once I got the client, input set desired capacity. Auto scaling group name. What is the name of that? In our case, the name of the group is VS Code ASG auto scaling group. This was the name, right? Name. Auto scaling group name. Auto scaling group name. VS Code ASG. Yeah. That's the name of the auto scaling group. And desired capacity. I'm gonna be setting it to be 3. I want 3 of them. And expected comma. So let me add a comma. Again, this is required. I know that. Honor cooldown. Do it. What is the job of this? I don't know. Cooldown. What does it do? Honor cooldown boolean undefined indicates whether Amazon EC2 auto scaling waits for the cooldown period to complete before initiating a scaling activity to set your auto scaling group to its new capacity. By default, EC2 auto scaling does not honor cooldown period during manual scaling. So let me make it false. So let me just simply remove it. It doesn't really matter. Okay, and then when it comes to the command, so set a new desired capacity. I'm giving it the input. I will get the response. Once I get the response, I will be logging the response over here, or to be precise, yeah, that's fine. What is the problem? Try changing the label to have DOM. So let me go to the TS config. It's a good one to make, like whatever you are able to do from your UI of AWS using SDK. How about doing the same thing? Being able to do creating your own UI and being able to do the same thing from your own UI, being able to change the instances and all, being able to create the instances, being able to see the information, everything. So creating this project is gonna be interesting. So, and the good thing is that we are actually creating this using Cloudflare and of course Phono on top of that. So, and it is both the things are combined there, combined in the sense front end and back end, and we can easily deploy it. Even we will deploy it today itself. So that's good. DOM. So the error should be gone right now. I will be logging it. Response CEI received successfully, and then I'm gonna be checking the value of the response. Apart from this particular thing, I need to have the configuration. What configuration? That is question. Configuration. I myself don't know what configuration. Maybe the IP and password. I mean, I need to have some configuration related stuff, right? The question is that how can I configure it? Configuring in the sense, mostly I need the IP and all. The question is, where can I get the IP from? IP, not IP in the sense API key and secret. That is what I meant. And let's see if I can find it. Okay, I think I should be getting the IP from here only. how will I get? I don't know. I forgotten it actually. I did it a while ago, few days back, and right now I have no idea exactly. Key pairs. First of all, this one I'm not using host name key, so let me delete this. And this is something I should explore tomorrow. It's already been around 12 o'clock or something, and it's not even done yet, though I was supposed to be live till 12 only. But we have to integrate Hono plus CloudFlare. Okay, that's great. Then we still have to talk about Grafana. I will not be taking the classes tomorrow. Taking the in the sense I will not watching new videos, and I will just simply learn about Grafana, like go through Grafana as well. Even deployment section is there. Then serverless backend and all. So all the things are gonna be done tomorrow. So let's simply uh, put them on hold for now. And as for the ID and all, I forgot on the way. So I will be even checking exactly how can I get the API key, so that I can just simply connect it to this. Let me go to this one. Yeah, how to get the IP key hasn't been mentioned here. Question: how to get the API key and secret for SDK, AWS SDK? To get the ID and secret, you must create them from IAM Identity Access Management. Got that? A user within the AWS Management console. Got it. Arey harcha bhai. Coming back to this, what I have to do here, I have to go to the AWS. I actually have to create one user. So IAM. Let's click on this. I have a backup, otherwise I just want to get it done. If I click on roles users, I think I have already removed all the users. Yeah, I have. Have I? User groups, users. Turns out I don't have any user yet, so I can just simply create a new user. That's gonna be what? Which one? This is gonna be for. Let's name it Vipendra. What else? Username. Provide user access to the AWS Management Console optional. Let's cut AWS Management Console. Next. Add a user to group. Copy permissions. Attach policy directly. I'm gonna be attaching directly. What for? What? It should be for auto scaling. No. Auto scaling. Yes. SDK. Auto scaling group. Auto scaling full access. This is the one. What is the next thing? First, for now, let's keep it only this much. Auto scaling, and let me create the policy. Next, auto scaling full access. Create the user. Once the user is created, then let's click on this full access. I can add one more, right? Of course I can add permissions, and I can add just like this. It can be done anytime. The important thing is that security credentials, and I'm gonna be creating access key from here. So let's click on this command line interface. I understand. Next, description value, create access key. So I should be getting the access key after this. Let me stop sharing the screen for a while. I got okay. I can share it. That's not really big problem. Mainly because the secret is still like this. So I'm gonna be saving them inside the environment variable, and from here I will be going ahead. Let me download them in the CSV file so that tomorrow it's gonna be VPN access keys and all. It's gonna be easy for me to just simply use them. Because of course today I'm not gonna be using them. Okay, so this is how I'm gonna be going ahead. Ultimately, yeah, we have even got what we have got our access key and secret, and now what we have to do over here, we have to have our access key just like this if I'm not wrong, and we have to have what access secret. Secret. Not getting any suggestions, that is really bad. Let me check it here. Access, even here I'm not getting any suggestion. Never mind, we'll figure it out whether whatever we've written here that's right or not. And then this is how we are gonna be going ahead. What we are gonna be doing, first of all, I can even deploy it. Deploying in the sense, I've written this much code, right? Let me deploy it directly. I have this AWS SDK, and I'm gonna say h1 hi there. Can I use tailwind here? This is my message for you. And what will I do? I'm gonna be deploying it. How will I deploy it? Pretty simple. Npx wrangler deploy. Before that I will have to log in. What happened? Wrangler. The spelling is wrong here. Such a bad person I am. I mean, not bad person. I'm bad at this. Wrangler. Copy. I mean, I can write it again now. So npx wrangler login. First of all, I have to log into Cloudflare, not Cloudflare. Yeah, Cloudflare. And then, how long will it take? Fine. Coming back to this one. Allow. Wrangler is a command line interface, and it will just simply get the access of the Cloudflare, and it will help me just simply do the stuff. Coming back to this one. Logged in. Clear, bro. ls. What is the next thing? Once this is done, then I'm already logged in. So run deploy. I mean, of course I should be able to deploy, right? It is just going to be deployed, and the end. Deploy configuration. This is the use of using Hono. You can deploy it I mean, this is serverless. Hono, I mean, you don't need to worry. It does run on server. It's not like it doesn't, but you don't need to worry about deployment and all. You have to just simply run the command. It will be deployed. Uncaught, no such module. Index.js. Index.js. Imported from index.js. How can I fix this? Okay, interesting. What is the issue? I think today I'm not even gonna be able to deploy it. Got the error in between. A request to the Cloudflare API accounts. This workers scripts SDK with Hono failed. Uncaught, no such module. Buffer import from index.js. Code this. To learn more about this, visit this. If you think this was a bug, do this. Import buffer, crypto, all these things. Export AN. That's default. Let me try one more time. Hopefully it's gonna work. If it doesn't work, I'll fix it tomorrow. No problem. Of course, I'm gonna be getting the same error. That is for sure. Would you like to continue? Yeah, no doubt gonna be getting the same error. For some reason, that index.js, importing from index.js, that is the issue. And as for this thing, I'm gonna be fixing it tomorrow. I'm dead tired. Okay, so that was it. As for the deployment, we'll be getting it done tomorrow. As for right now, we should definitely be able to run. So burn dev should be able to just simply run it, and that is it. Well, we are not able to run it as well. Using secrets define.env. Run dev. Whoa, amazing. What is the issue? Unexpected Node.js imports environment SDK with Ono. Do you need to enable Node.js compatibility flag? Node.js compatibility flag. Come back to this tsconfig. Or not tnconfig. This. Not this, then which one? And how do we enable that? For more details, open it. So inside wrangler.json, I have to just simply add this and this. Copy it. Wrangler.json. Inside this, I have to add this. Any problem? No problem as such. Let me remove this. And once done, run dev. This is fine. How about run build? Interesting. Run deploy. Yes, hopefully. Let's see whether we get the same error or not. If we get that, we'll fix it tomorrow, but we'll definitely fix it. Not really a big problem. As long as the AI is there, we don't really need to worry about it. But I want to check this thing. Build got done successfully. So building is not a problem, right? Running it, and it turns out it worked. So that Node.js compatibility was the problem. Oh yeah, literally. Yeah, it got done, yeah. So Node.js compatibility was the problem. Let's simply click on this. This is the URL that we've got of the deployment, and here we are. Hi there, this is my message for you. If I go to /API/v1/ instance /decrease d, that's actually a post request. Let's not worry about that. But what is the good thing? It is actually running. Okay, so let's not worry about this. Deployment is done if you actually come here inside this Cloudflare. So let me show you this Cloudflare. So the application that we just deployed, we will be able to see it here. So start for free. So deployment gets so easy when working with Cloudflare. You have to run one command, your entire application will be deployed. So if you actually go to, I will talk about it. soon I have to go live on this particular topic as well, exactly how you get the things done from the beginning. But if you go to workers and pages, so the application that I just deployed right now, that is what is the name of this SDK with Hono. This is the application that I just deployed a minute ago, and we will be able to see the code of this application from here itself. And yeah, it got deployed first of all here, and you can just simply go through this even more. You can check the result, and let's click on the deployments. We have deployed it once, and if I click on view logs deployment version, if I click on this, isn't there yeah, edit code. So if we want, we can edit the same code from here as well. We will get the interface, I mean what is this called, VS Code like interface. But the problem is again here that you will only get the dist file code here, because ultimately the code inside the dist file only got deployed. So that's the same code you are getting here, and that is problematic. Otherwise it's fine. So it's better to just simply make changes over there and then just simply see the result here. Okay, so this is how it simply goes. Let me close everything now. Remaining things are gonna be continued from tomorrow onwards. Ultimately, we do have a lot of things to do. Control Shift T, mainly this particular section. So how much we've done and how many things are remaining. Integrating Ono, this has started, but we still have to work on this. Grafana, we even have got the API key and all, so it will be easy. Grafana is the remaining thing. And one more thing, we will soon create a app where we are actually, whenever now we are gonna be creating apps or any server, so we will monitor that using either using Grafana or using Neuralink, because this is what we've learned. So we'll definitely be doing that. And then yeah, these are the things that I have just focused on yesterday, not yesterday, actually tomorrow. So we will be getting these things done. Until then, thank you very much. Bye bye, take care, and see you soon. Good night.